Hello. Oh shit. This isn't working. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Hello. Welcome back to another stream. Today, well, we are building, as you can see, Narrative Gundam B packs. This is a Gundam-based limited item, which I managed to pick up at Anime Expo, and I have been waiting to build this for quite a bit of time, over a month now. So, without further ado, let's open up the box and begin. While I build, I will also probably be talking about this thing's past and a couple facts about it. So, inside the box, we do have a couple parts already right here. This red part here, I believe, is I believe that's for part of the chest. If not, it could just be in here for the chin. These parts right here, these are exclusive to this kit, and the P Bandai exclusive B-Packs expansion set. So, in order to get the Narrative Gundam B-Packs, normally, if you don't get the Gundam base exclusive variant, you'd have to buy yourself a Narrative Gundam A-Packs in order to get the base Narrative Gundam. But, then you'd also have to buy the B-Packs expansion set, which this comes with, um, separately in order to use it on the Narrative Gundam that you get from the A-Pack. But the issue is you cannot use any parts from the A-Packs with the B-Packs. Meaning that, alright, the A-Packs on its own is already like an 80 to 90 USD investment. Then you have to pay, I think, an extra 15 to 20 for the B-Packs expansion, so it's already pretty pricey. Where and the thing about the B-Packs expansion is that it doesn't work on the C-Packs version of the narrative because that one has a slightly different frame compared to the A and B-Packs narrative. So with that all out of the way, this I think costed me around like what 32-ish USD when I bought it at the Gundam base. So if you just want a B-Packs, sadly, you're just like the best option I would recommend is to go to a Gundam base. However, I do believe there are sellers on Amazon which sell it. However, they're usually selling it for almost double the price. I think last time I checked it was like 69 USD compared to the 32 to 37 that I paid for this. But anyways, continuing on. I believe this is just more armor for the what was it? The BPAC. However, I think these right here might they're either ankle armor or they are for a parts formation that you're gonna need to do. You got parts of a backpack here and extra pairs of feet. You do have some clear parts, which I find really nice. A duplicate of this other runner over here. And some black parts here that are going to be used for sure in a parts formation. I think we might also have duplicates of this. Moving on, we have more armor. So I feel like this kit is going to be layered up pretty nicely. Some internal frame components. A ton of polycaps. Like, my god. I think this is the same polycap runner as the Turn A. So this is an absurd amount of polycaps. Like compared to like the F91 that we built last time, my god, the F91 had a runner that was like half the size of this thing. Anyways, we also have two very long beam sabers. I haven't had beam sabers this long for in a while. So that's going into my beam saber collection. Again, more armor parts. We have some BPAX exclusives here. Don't know about the blue, since I cannot read Japanese. I don't know if this is BPAX exclusive, but I do know that the shield is, and so is this backpack. The backpack right here, these are all components for it. Shield on this side is basically just a Jagan shield that was split in two. Well, just two Jagan shields that you just only take the tops of, pretty much. So of course it does also come with missiles, as you can see there. Finally, in the last package, we have ourselves some wires, mainly for posing this thing up. Some internal frame structuring, which I find very nice. And of course, the armor for the narrative. Again, this is the same narrative that you're gonna get out of the APACs, while being much, much cheaper. So if you're only in it, if you only want a narrative Gundam, I'd recommend getting a B-Pax. Otherwise, you're gonna be spending a lot on the A-Pax, but you know, you do get a ton of the A-Pax parts, which does make for a relatively bulky display piece, I would have to admit. So it definitely has some shelf presence. There isn't like there's no merit to it. Over on this page of the instructions, you can see where we're gonna be leaving out some parts. So, of the parts that we are not using, include parts of the backpack here. I believe this came with the APACs. Well, came for the APACs to use. It doesn't mean that we can't just swap it out, you know, if we want to just get a regular old APAC narrative Gundam, not APAC narrative, just a regular old narrative. But aside from that, we're using everything except I think one of the parts on the structural runner, if I can find that somewhere up here. I can't tell which part it is. Oh wait, no. Are those a trigger hands? Yeah, trigger fingers. Okay, so we aren't using trigger fingers since I don't think this actually comes with any weapons aside from the funnels and the shield. So the trigger fingers would normally be used in this kit to hold and fire the giant launchers on the Apex. I don't think we get the Apex hip mounted mega particle cannon either. So if you really wanted that, then go for the Apex. But something I'm very glad we're not using too much of is polycaps. My god! I guess they specifically shipped this set of polycaps with this kit just for some of the exclusive polycaps that are printed on this polycap runner. But thankfully, we don't need to use a vast majority of this. Like, I'm barely seeing any polycaps used, which is very nice. Like, less than half of the runner is going to be used. That's great. So, with that little deconstruction down that took like 10 minutes, let's begin. So, as always, I will be building from feet to head. First, I need to organize, of course. So, here we have our beam saber. The massive amount of polycaps, a couple of internal frame components, and I believe this is armor for the legs, at least part of the legs. See here. I really need to get something to organize this better. Even a good graphic probably. Here is the bulk of the narrative. If If you didn't know, then most of the narrative Gundam is basically just frame with some bits of armor thrown on top. It is a very bare bones-esque design, which, some people might love it, some people might hate it. That is all just personal taste. But whether you love it or hate it, Bandai has come up with at least 3 kits to build up with it. Oh, I almost forgot to remove the wires before I stored these bags. These are specifically used for posing up the funnels. I forgot the word there. So I will try not to forget that those exist. I mean, I'll probably forget till the very end, but, I'll make an effort to try not to forget. I don't think we need these till the end either. If I remember correctly, the way that these kits are built, just build the main body, then you build the backpack and everything else. This is so happens to be part of everything else. Okay, this we're going to be needing early. I do like how it is properly color separated. They didn't skimp out and decide to use stickers. Speaking of stickers, there are very few stickers in here. Only for the eyes, a couple cameras on the head, and for the eyes we even have 2 different eye stickers to choose from, either red or green. So that is very nice. Okay, this again is a Jagan shield. So this is where the missiles will come in, will poke out of, and it does use those. These right here, these clear parts are for actually, I believe, posing up the funnels in flight if you have an action base to display them off of. So that's gonna be nice. But then I'd also have to buy another action base. So a bit less nice, but still nice nonetheless. Let's see here. This I'm just gonna set up here because again we're building that lab. Actually, now that I think about it, this stuff's gonna go on the lab. Let's see. You. Did I miss any parts of this little guy? Hopefully not. I'm gonna just use my nippers here to help get in, just rip in. Okay, so the red is probably gonna be used on the torso of this kit. And these parts are part of the funnels, so they will be used near the end. Now that I think about it, I have a ton of space on this side. I could probably just move some of the side parts over there. But, let's see. Got the V-fin right there. Very nice V-fin. It is relatively intricate. I do like that. Duplicate parts to an extent. I believe this, yeah, this is basically just a copy of the other runner. As you can see it there, they are identical at the top. So we will have some dupes there. And the feet. We're going to be immediately cutting these out. So I'm going to hang on to these. Is this even the right way? This is technically the right orientation. Anyways, let me find the feet assembly real quick. Also, for some reason, instead of a booklet, they decided to just make this the instructions a fold out with like essentially just a roadmap style as instruction sheet, which I personally disagree with quite a bit. This should have been a booklet. I disagree with this design choice. But, anyways. Oh yeah, another thing about the booklet, I've noticed that there is a lack of cover art on the booklet. Instead, all you get is this. This is the cover sheet of the booklet. So normally, if you don't know, on the instruction booklet, there's usually cover art as well. Usually the same cover art that is on the box itself. Now, for other people, they might not really care, but for me, if I decide to mount this thing on my wall, I usually use the booklet. I usually place the booklet just behind the actual model kit itself. The only exception to this is my silver bullet suppressor, which I accidentally threw away the booklet and a ton of parts for it. Whoops. But anyways, feet. So right off the bat, we will be needing these parts. And I believe we want to use over here. So while I do like the colors of the narrative Gundam, what I don't like is well, the color of the plastic. Well, or rather that color when it is made of plastic, because darker colors usually show nub marks more. Like any stress marks, nipper marks, all that is show. It's much easier to see those little details on darker plastic as compared to what lighter colored ones. I believe black. No, okay, no, black isn't as egregious, but navy blue for some reason is, and dark grays as well. Just like that, we're almost done with a runner. We just have like these two dark bits right here, which are very hard to see. There you go. You can see a bit better down here. And of course, we have the backpack, which we are not using. So I'm going to be placing that there in the pile of other things for now. So assembly is very easy for the foot. It's just like three parts sandwiched together, you know? But I do like the simple construction. That makes my job as a builder much easier. Like, yeah, there are some times where a highly advanced part would be is very fascinating to, build. Like, get to see all the intricacies of it. But yeah, sometimes I just want to get things over with. And that is the case, especially the case when it comes to feet. Because, well, for me, building the same part multiple times is rather boring, especially if that part has to be built with a ton of things in mind. Wait a second. Okay, no, I should not misplace that. Okay. So feet do fit that criteria. They are relatively complex to an extent, and of course they come with a fair amount of part. Specifically, the entire leg structure. I am very tempted to get myself a gun tank because of this. Actually, I kind of want to get myself a master grade gun tank now. Oh, or a master grade ball. I always wanted to build the master grade ball. That thing is really nice to build, I've heard. Let's see here. So this is the main foot. As you can see, very simple design. Still has some intricacies underneath. There's a thruster down there. Now we are going to be attaching the ankle. onto this thing. So, again, one unique thing about this kit, it is mostly just inner frame. So the narrative Gundam was supposed to be a prototype for the new Gundam, but it was kind of scrapped, I believe. And while the new Gundam was completed, it was, of course, lost during the Axis Shock event. And when, well, post Unicorn, they kind of banned suits with Psycho Frame, well, rather banned the creations of it, which, well, if you know, you see, it doesn't real. That ban didn't really work too well. I think the only ban that was kind of enforced to an extent was nuclear weapons, but even that was violated in Stardust Memory. And by the Federation, well, technically the Federation violated their own ban first by actually creating nuclear weapons. But then, I believe Xeon stole it. Very not good. You probably don't want to lose track of a nuclear device, especially to the enemy, which absolutely hates you and is, you know, uh, willing to use that nuclear device in order to get revenge on you. So, not the brightest idea from the Federation, but honestly, when have they ever been truly bright? There's only one bright I know in there, and that is Noah. Well, technically Hathaway, but also, actually no. Does Hathaway share? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Hathaway does share the bright name. Anyways, let's see. What else was there? So, where was I? So post Lapis Box event, if you haven't seen the movie, of course spoilers. There was a third unit, well, a third unit sibling unit to the unicorn that was produced. That would be the Phoenix. Now, the thing about the Phoenix was that the Phoenix was supposed to be almost identical to its sister units, the Unicorn and Banshee. However, there's always a catch to these things, of course. The Federation decided, oh boy, wouldn't it be a good idea to completely remove the pilot's control over one of the most potentially dangerous parts of the actual suit. And that part would be the new type destroy system, which would, in a way, power up the Phoenix at the cost of the user if they are not if they are unable to handle the strain of the NTD system. Now, normally, in both the Unicorn and Banshee, the pilot has control over NTD. However, in the case of the Phoenix, the Federation can activate NTD remotely. The pilot has no control over that. That is until it went wild during testing because of that very fact. The Federation lost control of the Phoenix and it ended up escaping. The pilot was no more. So now, you got Phoenix Hunt. Well, Phoenix Hunt, which shows off the Federation and a separate third party, which had connections to the pilot, attempting to hunt down the Phoenix. Well, Phoenix, however you want to pronounce it, I will always just be mixing up the two and alternating quite often, honestly, with my pronunciation. The very Gundam that they have chosen to go after it is the narrative, which is this little bad boy. I believe they went after it 3 times. Each, well, as you can see by the number of packs, you can probably guess. Of course, A packs the first time, B packs the second time, and C packs the final time. And in the final confrontation, the narrative was destroyed. Except not by the Fenix, but by a different party, which I'm probably gonna avoid from spoiling. However, of course, if you know narrative, then you know it's a big boy. And I kind of want to get my hands on that big boy. Anyways, I think I spoiled enough about the narrative. Honestly, I feel like the movie was mid. The suit designs were great. I do love them. But the movie was honestly mid. Like, I feel like they could have done better if they had turned it into an OVA instead, like a longer OVA series. However, they decided to go with a movie, which I personally would not have done. I feel like an OVA again would suit it much better. Because, well, the movie barely has time to build up some of the characters. And you kind of really have to know the rest of the Universal Century in order to relate with the movie. And just have any sort of context on what, like, why some things are the way they are. For example, if you don't know about cyber new types, then the movie is going to be much harder for you to watch. And of course, goes without saying, you should probably, at the very least, watch Unicorn before watching Narrative. Because, well, they both connect at the very end. But again, if you want to watch Unicorn, you're going to be missing out on a lot if you don't watch the rest of the Universal Century, so it all loops back. Watch UC. UC is good. There is a reason why it is one of the most popular timelines out there. Go watch UC. Anyways, back to the build. This is going to be the first time we are using polycaps in this build so far. I'm hoping I'm hooking this up right. Because otherwise, it's not good if I screw this up. Okay, I think it fits in really nicely here. Almost flush. So I believe there is a 2-point knee bend on this thing. And as you can also, if once I finish assembling this part, you can also see there's like not really anywhere for you to even put on armor, if even. Like there's no connection points like anywhere. This right here is gonna be turned into a knee. That's gonna be another connection point most likely. Also, by the way, this kit was released in 2019 apparently. I don't remember when the Apex was released. But The narrative overall, I've heard to be a very good build. At least CPAX was. So I'm hoping this is similar. Let's see here. Oh yes, I've also, of course, will be assembling both legs at the same time if you couldn't tell. I mean, there are of course specific instructions for left and right leg, but as always, I will do both at the same time and just mirror the parts and mirror the instructions. I do feel like this kit does an okay job at hiding nub marks, like these two right here at the top. Those will be hidden because, well, that's where part of the thigh plugs into the hip. Oh, hidden to an extent, I should say. Let's see here. I don't remember what these were for. I think this might be ankles. Seeing how this is a ball joint and all. And the only other ball joint as of now is this right here on the feet. Anyways, I feel we're also burning through all our polycaps. Well, the polycaps allocated to this kit. I've noticed. I don't remember if the Apex uses a lot more polycaps, but I'd assume it would. I know, of course, the Turn A also used a ton of polycaps. Like, almost the entire runner was gone when I finished that Turn A. Oh my god. I mean, the Turn A is a nice looking suit, but due to all the polycaps in it, I feel like it's definitely very floppy and a bit difficult to pose. Personally, I would have gone without the polycaps, if possible. Like, I feel like a 2.0 wouldn't be a bad idea for the Turn A. I'm also very tempted to get myself a Moon Gundam, because I know the Holly store near me has one, but holy shit, they're selling out so quickly. They have like two left. I don't even know if I can make it in time to get one of them. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn on BGM. I had some prepared the entire time, but I completely forgot to turn it on, because of course I did. Anyways, okay, so what do we got here? What can next wear and what needs wear? Okay. I do hope that there's enough differentiating these parts for me to tell. Actually, okay, no, there is. Let's see. Quickly organize this. Essentially just breaking down what should go where right now. For the most part, I believe the leg is rather simple. And again, so is the rest of the kit, just because you don't need to layer too much on it. Which after building the last couple kits I have been, mainly Barbados, especially. My God, I need a quick break from that. I mean, it is like those kind of kits are certainly rewarding sometimes, but in my opinion, you can only do them every so often because they will tire you out. However, that doesn't change the fact that I also have several of those coming up. Get this mixed up? Yeah, I did. So with this organization, theoretically, everything should be coming together very quickly once I finish cutting. Let's see here, what else? And one last piece. That is not on this runner. It's on this thing. Should probably orientate this the right way. I've also been thinking about getting a new pair of nippers because I feel like these ones, well, they have served me. Oh, God. While these nippers have certainly served me very well, they are definitely showing their age now. I'm tempted to buy a new pair of God hands. You know, God hands are very expensive, if you didn't know. Alrighty. So this is the leg assembly. Well, the basic layout of the leg assembly for the narrative. As you can see, everything is laid out properly. So now, let's see it all come together. Firstly, you have this joint right here, which, as I said before, would be the knee. This right here, I believe, plugs in over here. And acts as an ankle as well. Now, it does actually have a fair amount of articulation. So you do get a good bend on this, a really nice bend. Back here is armor that does move, like one of the few pieces of armor on this thing. Which, this I did not expect to move. So that is nice. See anything else? I don't think so. I'm assuming this armor's in the right place. I hope it is. Because, you know, it's kind of the only hole where it fits. And it also matches the curve of the leg very well. And if it doesn't fit, I have a part separator, so this little guy has saved me, as you know, if you watch this thing, all my streams before, so many times. Let's see here, I can turn up the BGM a bit, probably. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. As you can see, we do have that 2-point knee bend already being shown off. So you can bend this up to here and then this down here. But then, of course, depending on the pose, you can also bend this up, down even further. This, of course, opens in and out, depending on what pose. Aerial, you probably want out. On ground, you probably want in, unless you're trying to do a takeoff pose. And finally, foot down here also moves. Well, the ankle, I should say, down there moves. So we do have a couple slots here to just slide armor on, which is very convenient and nice for us. I have a reason to say that this is easy because it's also a bit stiff. You just kind of gotta find the right angle, and then once it's in, you just kind of force it in the rest of the way. Ooh, but there is some very nice texture here. Like, it's a bit uneven, which I do find very complimenting of this kit. So, like, there is a bit of, like, depth here to the frame, if you can see. Like, the frame doesn't fully pop out. Instead, the armor just kind of lays on in a hodgepodge-esque way, which is exactly how it would be on the narrative. This is most of the leg done. Oh, even back here, a bit of the frame shows through. Oh, wait, I think... Okay, I screwed up putting in a part here. Part separator will save my ass. Once more. So if you don't have a part separator, I have heard from one of my viewers that a guitar pick has also done them well. So I would recommend either one. Me personally though, I have had my own experiences with guitar picks, well, using a guitar pick to separate parts. For me, I prefer the separator because there is always the risk of the guitar pick snapping on me. Which I've had happen on some of my early builds before that I haven't streamed. That probably is due to me applying way too much pressure. I don't need to worry as much with the part separator. Also, I was probably using a guitar pick that was way too thin. Yeah, and I really do like how the leg is assembled here. Like, for the most part, it does actually have, like, this entire kit it does have an inner frame, similar to a real grade would. It's just that, unlike a real grade, it is very, very bare bones on the armor that you apply. Like, for the most part, a good, like, unlike most other kits, unless you, unless it's something like the Barbados. Actually, no, even then, I feel like the Barbados has more of its frame covered up, even with a good chunk of it poking out. Like, if you want a kit that's just, like, mostly frame, go for the narrative. However, again, your only options at that, with the narrative are the A packs or B packs. I mean, C packs also works. If you do want that cycle frame on top, go for the C packs, of course. But, if you just want a bare bone Gundam with a shitload of frame, I would recommend the narrative. It also has, again, very nice subtle color separation. Like, I didn't expect Bandai to color separate different shades of just monotone. So they do have at least 3 different colors of plastics for a majority of this build. Of course, there is some yellow for the V-fin, as there always is. And of course, there is also, what was it? What was I gonna say? There's also, oh yeah, red and blue for the core fighter in the cockpit. That's another thing that makes specifically the narrative Gundam. I believe could also be called the Mu Gundam. Different compared to most other suits. Because it was mostly just a prototype, you got... This is also ripped straight from the Gundam Wiki, by the way. I haven't looked at it recently. It probably... There's like a 95% chance that it hasn't been changed. Because, you know, it's been around forever. But, the core fighter was put in place of a standard linear cockpit in order to attempt to save, any data in case anything went wrong during testing. As a result of this, the pilot does not get a full 360-degree view that, well, the full 360-degree view that most cockpits at the time also already had. See here. Need to line this up better. This piece right here is getting a bit difficult, but that's just probably due to me, yeah. Once it gets into the right place, it fits in very nicely. Just gotta find the right way to put it in. I can already see it now as well. This seam line right here is going to be covered up by another piece of armor, which I find very nice. Like the parts separation and layering, I didn't expect them to do this for a high grade, I'll be honest. Like, I think they did take a couple shortcuts with some of the witch kits here and there, depending on which kit you're talking about. But for something that came out pre Witch from Mercury, this kit is put together really well. I'll admit. Like, I really didn't expect this, but it's really nice. Like, I was honestly expecting a bit worse. Probably something similar to Turn A. But even, well, okay, the Turn A, it does look very nice on the surface. The main thing I have issue with about the Turn A, as I stated before, is its articulation. It's just so floppy. Like, if you really like the Turn A, then I'd say go for it. It's a pretty good kit. At least, but only if you really like the Turn A. Like, you do have to put in a good, like, some work just to tighten up the polycaps for some of the joints, especially the hip. Like, the legs are very prone to falling off. That's my experience. Well, it was my experience with the Turn A. Okay, so this is supposed to go on like this. So we can find the right angle just to... Yep, there we go. Just kind of snaps on. And it just stays on via friction. That is some very nice molding from Bandai. Like, you have to be very precise in order to get something like that off. Again, the subtle color separation is so nice on this thing. And there's not... If you don't like panel lining, there's not too much to panel line here either. I mean, that's both a good thing and bad thing. Less work, but you know. If you really want to panel line this thing, I'd say get yourself some sort of etching tool or scribing tool and slowly attempt to create your own custom panel lines. But so far on the leg, all I see for panel lining is this single white line over here that can't really be caught on camera. So there's not much to panel line with this kit. But a good chunk of this kit also doesn't really need panel lining, since again, it's all inner frame with a ton of detail. Like, that also creates its own sort of shadow. It doesn't need panel lining in order to create more shadows, which I do kind of like. Okay, we're onto bits of the ankle now. before we connect the ankle and the foot. So these things have a ton of these little extra gates on them. Like, I think these these two pieces have 4 disconnected gates on them in total. So these gates are just kind of free floating, not even on the runner. They were probably just injection molded in there, just so that you can get extra plastic in those tiny little nooks and crannies for slightly more consistency. I mean, while they are annoying, it is very nice that, well, it's at least consistent. Yeah, there's 3 more gates right there. 1, 2, and 3. I hope I don't screw up any cuts, because every time I see these sort of gates, I'm always nervous about accidentally cutting in the wrong area. Whoops, I think I put this in wrong. I think this is supposed to go in over here. Actually, I'm looking at the instructions closely here. Oh, whoops. That is my butterfingers. Oh, wait, did I install the knee wrong? No, I didn't. Okay, thank goodness. I thought I accidentally completely screwed up the knee, but no. Turns out both the front and rear have that. Okay. So should it be like this? Yeah, okay. So they both install in the same way. I didn't expect that. Hey, that's some extra little color separation. This moves slightly, which again, I wasn't expecting. Along with this right here, moving back and forth like that, you can get some really nice bends the back and the front. Okay, not so much to the front. You can only bend so much to the front, I can already tell. But to the back, oh boy, you can get quite a bit. And then I want to say it probably goes down to back here. If you were to try and bend that. We're gonna test that soon. Right after I finish doing the same thing to the right leg. Same little armor setup. How many runners this kit came with? Like, I don't think the runners were large runners, but still, like, the number of runners is kind of absurd. Like, I haven't built a kit with this many runners in a while. I think the last one last one I built was the F91. Then off stream, I built myself a Zawart Heavy, and even that didn't come with as many runners as this thing. Like, holy shit. This is a lot of runners to work with. Alrighty, so install this first. So that's properly seated, then of course this goes in. and hooks everything up. And then I'm pretty sure at this point, there's nothing left to do but to attach the ankle. And my god, I was right. Look at this bend! Jeez. Now, the forward bend isn't as good, but it's still pretty decent. But that back... Oh god, this backwards ankle bend? Oh boy, that is nice! That's so good for posing. I love kits with stuff like that. Okay, so I think that's the ankle properly posed up. There we go. Everything is in. And just like that, we have legs. I don't remember how tall the narrative Gundam is. I think it might be like 21 meters tall. Well, that or up to 23 meters tall. I don't remember. It's either 21 to 20. It's somewhere between 21 and 23 meters tall. It's big. So, that is actually the legs almost done. We just need to add one extra part. And that final part is the connection between the legs and the hip. Boy, we're actually speeding through this at a pretty considerable rate. I like that. Okay, I should not forget the polycap. I've done this so many times, so I've forgotten the polycap inside one of the essential joints. I think I did that with the turn A, and I had to disassemble it. Like, it's so annoying whenever I do that. I'm gonna need another one of these anyways. Okay. All good, all good. Okay, time to assemble. So, how do you go? Probably something like this. Oh, don't tell me the polycap is crushed. That's always the most annoying part about polycaps, in my opinion. Okay, thankfully it isn't. Okay, there we go. Got the legs done. I just love, again, I just love the inner frame of this thing just poking through like that. It adds a fair amount of character, in my opinion, to the kit. Let's see, so Next up, hip. This right here is the hip that we're going to be using. I need to find, here they are, polycap 13. What do you guys want to attach? I think this is for the side skirts. There we go. What else do we got? We're gonna find the back skirt on here. Yep, it's a big lad. Sadly, unlike well, just like most other high grades, the back skirt, aka butt flap, does not move. It is just a solid piece, like so. I wish it moved. I kind of want more butt flaps to move. But at this point, it's kind of standard that the butt flaps don't move. Which is why I like suits with either tiny butt flaps or no flaps at all. Like the Zawart. That thing is very nice to pose because of how tiny that flap is. Also, apparently my friend has really gotten addicted to 30-minute missions. But my god, that like building 30-minute missions builds up in cost so fast. Like it can get very expensive to do 30-minute mission. Just because, like, while the kits themselves are cheap, customizing the kits, each one costs a bit less than a kit on its own. But if you really want to go all out, my god, does Bandai let you go all out? And again, that price, all that money built up very quickly. Oh, this color separation is so nice. The subtle gray compared to the off-white of this. Like this much, much lighter grayish white. I love that so much. Let's see here. How do you attach? Like so. Okay, it looks like we also have to install a gimmick for the legs to move. So we might have a leg drop gimmick. I can find it somewhere on here. There you are. I was just looking at the wrong numbers. There we go. That part right there is for leg dropping. We're almost halfway done with the kit. I'd say like once you complete the torso of this thing, you're halfway done because then you also have to assemble the backpack still. And the backpack I'm expecting to be a lot of work. I don't think it's as much work as the silver bullet suppressor, but that's because the silver bullet suppressor has it's like I want to say 40% backpack. It's a silver bullet with a different backpack. But my god, you have to put in a lot of effort for that backpack. Like, that silver bullet backpack is insane. I mean, the gimmick doesn't work too well, and I kind of wish it, actually, okay, the gimmick is alright, but it doesn't work too well, and, sometimes I do wish that they just kind of went for more stability instead of the gimmick. But I mean, it's still cool that they added the gimmick into the backpack. Yeah, I think this kind of locks this leg dropping thing in place. So once I pull all this back, yeah, legs can swing down slightly with this. And we also have this peg right here for an action base. All we're missing now is the front. Just to seal everything in place. And for the front skirts. Actually, where are the side skirts of this thing? Oh, that's where they are. I see them. Okay, side skirt assembly is very simple. You don't really have to do much for the side skirts, thankfully. You just kind of throw them on. I do like myself some simple skirts. I mean, the complex ones aren't bad, but like I really like them if they're either simple or if they incorporate some gimmick into them. If they have some gimmick in them, I'm very happy. Everything is nested well in place. Now I just need to get the flaps at the front. If I can find them. Actually, which runner are these things on? This runner right here. There they are, I'm just blind. There is a bit more to panel line on these compared to legs. So I guess if you just want a kit that looks good out the box, go with this one. Just go with the narrative. The narrative is very nice. Oh, okay, I need to test something out here. How well do you stay in place? Because I am very tempted to separate these two. Oh boy, they stay in really well. I'm separating these. Okay, so just need one nice clean cut down the middle to separate. I do hope my nippers don't snap. Okay, there we go. I do wish I had some better nippers for that. Yeah, I might need some new nippers soon. I'll probably visit a hobby shop later to pick up a new pair. Oh, okay, that's nice. Okay, these do properly stay in place. I know with some of the older kits, when you do divide the skirts... Okay, I need to clean this up a bit, otherwise it won't properly fit in. There we go. With some of the older kits, when you do divide the skirts, they do get very floppy. But with this, oh, they fit in so well. Like, you can pose these up without much risk of them falling apart. Which I find very nice. I'm gonna sway away from the instructions here. Yeah, no, as you can see, these do hold up. I mean, they are a bit looser, but you can move them separately now. Like, of course they're going to be a bit looser, but, well, after, you know, cutting them apart, but, you know, that extra articulation, if you really want it, it's there. See, we do also get some extra color separation, of course. To break up all this white and monotone gray, we have a slightly less monotone gray. An in-between of the two, if you may. The main reason why I didn't do this before, honestly, I probably should have attached these before cutting them, but because I kind of wanted the extra support of the rest of the parts in order to attach these, just in case something bad would have happened. But turns out I don't think I need them. Okay, there we go. You have some nice color separation on here. And of course, these flaps stay in place for the most part. If they don't, they'll probably just be resting on the leg anyways, if you do decide to raise it up, like, incredibly high. So you don't need to worry too much about these things just not staying in place. Unless you are working on trying to keep those two, like, these flaps and the legs from touching one another in some poses. Which I would highly recommend getting some tack for. Whether it's blue tack or gray tack, tack is very nice. Just to own for model kits. Like, I am very much an advocate for tack. Anyways, let's finish up this lower portion of the kit. We do have some extra bits of armor here. Mainly these skirts. Specifically the side skirts. Once we have this, we're ready to assemble the lower half. And as I said before, these skirts are very simple. It's already assembled, it's already pre-molded for you. There's actually a pretty decent amount of detail. And I feel like this could be actually parts layered pretty well. But they decided to pre-mold it for you, so I guess it's less work for you. All they can do is move up and down. There's no swinging back and, like, forward and back. So all these can do are move up and down, but hey, at least they're simple. Which I do like. So once that's on, you just scoot the skirts up or put on the legs first. Then you just kind of pop these on. And just like that, we have something that can finally stand on its own. Of course, if you just position it right, it should be able to just stand on pretty much any surface. Of course, if you need extra help trying to stick onto a surface, again, I recommend tack or double-sided tape. There we go. We do have some nice color separation on the legs, a good chunk of the frame showing through. Oh, this is going to be standing up here until we finish the rest of this kit. Speaking of the rest, we're onto the torso now. Torso, arms, then head. That is the order that we're going in now. And as you can see here, most of the frame is just done. Of course, we do have some of it for the torso and the arms. But I don't think the arms have a proper, like a full proper frame in them. Sadly. Unlike the legs, which actually seem to do have a proper frame. With, you know, at least half of it popping through as well. Okay, so we do have the back right here. As you can see, these are the holes for the backpack. Those 3mm pegs. I believe this just kind of slides on right here. Oh yeah, no, these... Okay. This is the first time I'm seeing a torso like this. I'm gonna be resting on its soon-to-be back for now, as I continue to work. Okay, this should be facing like this. Need to be careful here. Okay. I'm looking at the frame right now. There is so much detail on some of these parts, which I think are also going to be covered up. Oh boy. I kind of don't want to cover these parts up if they are covered, because it just looks very nice. It's so beautiful. Here. Polycap number 4. These ones are most often used for, well, arm joints. Just shoulders in general. But, I wouldn't say shoulders just because, for the most part, shoulders usually for these kits refer to also the shoulder armor, which for the most part also moves separately. I'd say shoulder joint, maybe? Oh, wait, there's a bit more here to assemble. Gotta be careful here because there are like a couple tabs connected to gates that you do not want to accidentally cut. Otherwise, they will not properly connect. I think this goes down here. Oh boy, this is extra venting, I want to say. There's just so many details to this thing. Like, the more I'm building the narrative Gundam, the more I love it. Like, the movie might be mid, but the Gundam itself, oh boy, is it well designed. I will always give them credit for the for mobile suit designs. Like, some of these designs are so good. Some of them, of course, don't translate very well to model kit form. Others do very well. Sometimes some bad designs become very good once you translate them. Like, I believe one example that I use for something like that is the Zeong. The real grade Zeong was honestly not very good. No, not the real grade one. The regular Zeong, in my opinion, was not a very good design, but the real grade Zeong blows what the anime had out of the water. I got these parts mixed up. Yeah, these are gonna be tight fitting a bit. Actually, they're probably just coming at an angle like that. Yeah, then I don't need to worry about that. The real grade Zeong just blows whatever design they had from the anime out of the water. Of course, it is still inspired by the anime design, but it's so, so good. I love the real grade Zeong. There are so many tiny parts to this thing. Oh my gosh. Like, all of this moves as well, which I am very impressed by. Also, I may or may not have to stop the stream early and show an incomplete build due to having to do something that just came up. Oh boy, oh, but look at this. This chest just pops out and flares out like so. I believe this is for allowing the arms later to swing forward ever so slightly more for opposing, but it all just clicks into place so nicely. And there are so many small parts to this thing. I love it. See, now we are actually onto the waist. Okay, so I think the final red part right here is just for the chin. I'm gonna keep it on there just to not lose it. I was very tempted to cut it off for a second, but knowing me, I will actually lose it if I do that. I think I've done that with a V-fin before, but not on stream. Oh, I almost forgot one final polycap. I don't remember if this kit uses a polycap for the neck or not. It might. I think after we finish this part, I don't think the kit uses any more if it doesn't use one for the neck. So potentially we're down to the last polycap here for this kit. All these other ones might not be used. So hey, if you're looking for a ton of polycaps to use, then I recommend this kit as well. I don't remember if the narrative Apex uses this many polycaps though either. How is this supposed to attach? I could be attaching onto you. That's why. And you actually have attachment points for this. Oh, that snaps together very nicely. I do like that. Okay. Finally, we can use the blue part. Now, the thing about this blue part is that this is part of the, I believe, core fighter cockpit, which, unlike most other suits with core fighters, is pretty much completely unshielded. Like, the poor guy can basically just be shot down by small arms if you're precise enough. I need to find the right runner here. I thought I already organized all this, but I guess not. Where are you? Whoops, I accidentally dropped that. Oh, wait, no, it's a clear part. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it before. That's right, I forgot I had these things. Oh, I do. Oh, again, I really like how they do use a clear part for core fighter cockpit. It is so nice. Like, I really didn't expect this much quality out of a high grade, I'll be honest. But it's so good. Well, for a high grade at least. I mean, I'd expect this much for paying like, what, 32 USD for this? I probably should expect this much rather, but still. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, it's always been like either the smaller kits or some of these other kits that blow my mind sometimes. But I do know for a fact that I think some of the Witch from Mercury kits are also gonna be blowing my mind, especially if I can get my hands on the Calibarn. I've heard amazing things about the Calibarn, so I can't wait to actually get one myself. Oh, we have such a huge element here. Like, look at this. Again, this all just kind of pops out. It pulls out for that extra movement of the arms. Oh, this is such a good kit, especially since this thing is still using some of the older techniques. Like, out of all the kits I've built, I think this is probably like one of the best ones I've had that still uses polycaps in some of the older style, like modeling designs. Like, it just takes what they already did before and just does it so well. Oh boy. I had this upside down, I think. Yep. Should fit in a lot better now, I believe. Well, if I do have to end stream early, then I will be probably stopping with the main build today and continuing with the backpack on Friday. Also, I do need short streams on Friday now since I do have things to do there, like at night. Mainly just off-stream plans. Also, I don't know why this isn't fitting. Probably just me that's screwing up. With just lining up some of these parts. Because there's so many connections in this thing. Okay, I should line up the large peg first, now I'm looking at it. And then all these smaller ones should just kind of fit in? Question mark? No. This is probably like one of the, like, aside from, actually me screwing up putting these parts on, this is probably one of the best ways I've seen of them mounting a shoulder joint. Like, it's so nice if you mount it this way now. I don't know why it isn't fitting though. Like, theoretically, yeah, no, all this should be able to slide in really nicely. Why are you not going in? Oh, wait, I think I got something. Something went in. Please fit, please fit, please fit. Okay, saying please, I think worked to an extent. It's in. Nice. Yeah, saying please worked. Hell yeah. Now, please fit on this side as well. It's so tight. Okay, there we go. It all snapped in. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay, I don't think we use any more polycaps. I think this thing actually comes with its own neck. I do like that. How the hell does this neck connect? Let's see. Okay, I see it right now. They're already on this one piece of armor. It does have multiple areas for this to hook in. This would just be shoved up here, and down here you can see there are two holes for these pegs to just slide into. That'll allow the neck to pivot up and down, but also still a ball joint for whatever, a ball joint does with the neck. Oh, whoops. This just kind of slaps on there. It's sad to hide all that extra bit of armor, but it is all kind of revealed down here when you do pull this out. That is very nice. I love that. I love that so much. Like, just the torso has so much built in, and you can see the core fighter right then and there, just folded up. Oh boy. Again, you wouldn't want to be the pilot of this thing, because I'm pretty sure if someone just aimed like a 20 mil in your general direction, like you better hope your core fighter cockpit is sturdy. That's all you have between you and the outside world, buddy. Still, yeah, I might have to stop after I finish the head. We're gonna be. I'm calling it right now. We're gonna be doing a part 2 of this on Friday. It'll be good as a short stream for me. I kind of needed a short stream as well there. There's, again, offline stuff. What do we got here? Okay, there we go. Oh, there's so much layering on this thing. I love it so much. This thing feels so nice to build. If you can't get your hands on an A or B packs, I would highly recommend getting the C packs. Because if I remember correctly, it is basically an A or B packs, but with a ton of extra divots and hardpoints for all the psycho frame. while being a lot cheaper and generally easier to find. I highly recommend just building any narrative Gundam. The narrative is so good! God, it's so good! What the hell? I didn't expect this. Like, I really didn't. Let's see, I need to find you. Yeah, you have the backpack, which is a part of the torso building instructions. I mean, this is a very basic backpack that they have on right now. Of course, you still have the much more complex, potentially add-on parts, which I think they're add-on parts. Okay, no, I lied about the polycaps. We are using some more polycaps, but that's for thrusters. Okay, let's see here. My god, again, there's just so much to this kit. I love it so much. I love this thing to bits already. It's captured my heart. Oh, whoops. If you can ever find this kit in the wild, I'd say it is very worth it to build. I should probably reorganize everything. Like, if you ever get the chance of going to a Gundam base, I recommend this narrative Gundam. I think I prefer this build over the aerial. Again, all my personal preference, but that is my opinion on it. It's so good. But that like, I don't think I have too much personal bias, especially since, again, I dislike the movie. But that aside, the actual build it blows my mind. I'm pretty sure I could probably say the same thing about the Moon Gundam if I had that, because, again, I've heard very good things about that as well. Basically, a real grade, in high grade, no. It is a real grade that is stuck as a high grade. A real grade that is stuck in a high grade's body is how I would describe the Moon Gundam. Oh, and the thrusters have a bit of articulation as well. They can move up and down like so. Oh, that's nice. Okay, you know what? No, I might stop the build here. Because again, I have something to do. Oh, wait, I forgot to do something. Oh, no. Oh, boy. I screwed up. I forgot to put in a part. Okay, part separator, please save me. I was too enthralled in talking. I completely forgot that I didn't have a part in. This is going to be a very difficult part to separate. Please come apart. Oh no. Okay, I might have to force the part in here. Are you the part? Yeah, you are. Yeah, this is... I should really just be cutting out everything before I start assembling. And I highly recommend that everybody does that. Oh god. How did I already screw this up this badly? Oh, I can't force it in either, due to the way it's constructed. Ugh, this is gonna be so annoying. Worst. Okay, no. Well, from a build perspective, it's great that some of these parts are flush with one another, but for me, oh boy, I have a lot of work to do. I might have to stop stream after this and just build the arms, heads, and backpack next time. Fuck. Hold on. Okay, no, that probably wouldn't do much. I do technically have a 3mm hole right here that I can use to try and get some parts out, but I don't think that's gonna work. Instead, I think I might have to just pry. Actually, I think prying's working from certain angles. Oh boy. This is almost as bad as the time I screwed up on the God Gundam. There I accidentally snapped a piece of armor. Oh, it's actually coming out. Hold up. Thank God for part separator. This thing is so durable. Oh. That slipped out. I think I did apply a bit of pressure to some parts here. I did probably round them off. But I can always sand those down. I don't think they're going to be too affected. And at this point, forcing it out with my fingernails and through the holes using the part separator. Come on, almost. Okay, got most of one side out. Come on, please. I was so close. Okay, there we go. Got the tip in, that's good. If I can get the tip in, that means I can just really go to town with the part separator. I think the thrusters are gonna pop out. Really leverage some parts here and there. A rounded tip really helps. Like, it doesn't cut any of the plastic, it just kind of pushes them out of the way. Oh shit. That dug into my fingernail. Oh boy, that hurts. Oh, but we got it apart. Oh boy. Okay. Now, let's not screw up these steps. Put you in like so. And then we close you up. No, unless I already screwed this up. Whoops. Boy. Do this. Okay, just shove this in here. Then I think this just goes on. I am triple checking just to make sure. Yeah, it is, thank God. Okay, and I don't think I see any of the marks from the parts separator. Thank goodness. It's been salvaged. Okay, well. And just like that, we have a basic backpack. This is probably going to be where the extra funnels are going to be strapped onto. I want to say with that, we're like halfway done with the build. You still have the head, the arms, and the accessories to go. But that's halfway. And this is already a pretty large kit on its own. Like, the legs are long as hell. What the hell? Wait a second. I think I screwed something up here. This polycap in the hip really likes to turn. Okay, there we go. Now it's in properly. Just like that, we're halfway done with the narrative. And I might have to call stream here because something has come up that I do have to do. It has been, I want to say, less than 2 hours. So, pretty good overall. Like, normally these streams take 3 to 4 hours, occasionally. But we made decent progress, so again, I'm going to call it here. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off on Friday. So, this is half the narrative complete. On Friday, we're going to be over half the narrative complete. On Friday, we're going to be completing the rest of the narrative, mainly the arms, and the head, and then we're going to be building the B packs for it. So that would be the shield over here, and the funnels on its back, the wired funnels. So anyways, thank you all for coming, and I will see you guys then. Bye.